All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is what we do. I take Michael K's podcast, cut it down, and react to all the Mets and Yankees talk, just the good stuff, no fluff. They call me the Bronx Squirrel. Yeah, the same squirrel you saw running around the field earlier this year, that was me. And now, I'm here breaking down everything baseball in New York. Today we're talking Yankees division chances, the Mets collapsing, and of course, Michael K's take on it all. So let's get into it.
They got to win out to win the division, I feel like. They got to win out. Sweep the White Sox, sweep the Orioles to win out, to win the division, basically.
Well,
Don't you think?
I don't know if they have to win out. I mean, it's all according to what Toronto has to do. They have to gain 3 games on Toronto. So if the Yankees go 4-2, Toronto would have to go, 1-5. So can they do it? Toronto's been playing terribly. But, I mean...
They're facing the Red Sox and Rays, right? The Blue Jays?
Yeah, and the Red Sox have to win, too. So that's why it's tough. And the Rays, the Rays are always going to be competitive. That's not an easy 6 games for Toronto, especially when they're playing. And now, they have the injury to Bassett and the way that Scherzer pitched last time out. They're in a little bit of trouble, but I still think that a 3-game lead with 6 to go is pretty good because I know it's 2 in the loss column, Jay, but it's really 3 because they have the tiebreaker. Yankees have to pick up 3 games on Toronto.
All right, Mikey, I hear what you're saying. You ain't wrong with the math. 3 games, 2 in the loss column, Toronto's struggling, all that, I get it. But let me tell you something. The caller's not crazy either. With the way the Yankees been playing this year, the only way you feel safe is if they win all. That's the truth. Yeah, maybe technically they don't need to sweep everybody. But come on, Mikey. You trust this team to go 4-2 and just sit back hoping Toronto collapses? And nah, I can't buy that. Not with this lineup. Not with the bullpen giving me gray hairs every night. So, you're right on the numbers. I'll give you that. But in Yankee land, you want to win the division, you better treat it like you got to win every single game. Period.
You have now lost 4 of 6 to the Nationals in a couple of weeks. Inexcusable. All right, so with that loss and the Reds win over the Cubs, the Reds have the same record as the Mets. They're both 80-76. The Mets lost the season series to Cincinnati. So the tiebreaker goes to the Reds. I will repeat it. I've said it over and over again. It's going to be ad nauseum. If the Mets don't make the playoffs with a $340 million payroll, it is one of the great letdowns in sports history. This team went to the 6th game of the NLCS against the eventual world champion Dodgers last year. They added one of the great players of all time in Juan Soto, and they might be out of the playoffs. Are you kidding me? What's wrong with this team? So there are 6 games remaining. The Mets are off tonight, as are the Yankees. Here's what's left. The Mets have 3 games against Chicago at Wrigley. Then they have 3 games against the Marlins in Miami. The Cubs have very little to play for. Now, they are 3 games ahead of the Padres, so they have the number 1 wild card. So you could say they don't want to lose the 3 wild card games being played at Wrigley Field. So there's something to play for. But remember, the Cubs just got swept by the Reds. The Reds have won 5 straight. That's how they got into it. I've been telling you the longest time, the Reds are not ready to be a playoff team, but they're making me look dumb. Because you know what? Winning 5 in a row when they really have to win 5 in a row. Here's how the Reds have remaining. They have 3 games against Pittsburgh and then 3 games at Milwaukee against the Brewers. Milwaukee will have nothing to play for. Pittsburgh never has anything to play for. So that's the Reds schedule.
Yo, Mikey, I hear you, but you're making it sound like the Mets are playing with house money and already dead. Come on, bro. Yeah, they don't control their own destiny anymore. Fine, but that don't mean the season's over. You win your games, you put the pressure on Cincinnati, that's all you can do. And let's be real, the Reds sweeping 6 straight, that's not a lock, pal. You acting like it's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in baseball, especially when you're talking about a team that's been up and down all year. I'll give you this, though. The young arms, you're right, they hitting that wall. They never pitched this many innings, never felt this kind of heat. But that's what makes it fun, Mikey. It's New York. You either rise up or you fold. And until they're mathematically out, I ain't burying them yet.
The Diamondbacks are 79-77, so they're 1 game back in the loss column. The Giants are 77-79. They're 3 games back in the loss column, so I do not believe the Giants have a chance. Arizona, They have 3 games against the Dodgers, and then they have 3 games at San Diego. That's not easy. So I don't like the Diamondbacks' chances. I'll give you the Giants. Their schedule is easier. 3 games against St. Louis and 3 games against Colorado. Both of those series are in San Francisco. To get a feel of how bad the Mets have been, the Mets, since June 13th, are 35-52. So when we say, oh, it's shocking they lost 2 out of 3 to the Nats. You know what the Nats record is since that point? 34-54. The Mets, for over half a season, have established themselves as the dregs of the National League. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. And they don't have any luck either. Did you see the Jacob Young catch on the Brett Beatty fly ball to center field? He was playing hacky sack with the baseball, and he caught it, only to the Mets. Then Alvarez drives a ball that was either an extra base hit or maybe over the wall, and then Jacob Young goes out and makes the catch in the 9th inning. And even the game they won, nail-biter. Nail-biter. They lose in extra innings. They can't get out of their own way. And one thing that Carlos Mendoza said over and over, it's right in front of us. It's not right in front of you anymore. You have lost control. You have no control. The Mets have no control over their playoff destiny for the first time since April 5th of this year. And when I say no control of their playoff destiny, what I mean is this. If the Mets sweep the Cubs and they sweep the Marlins, they still might not make the playoffs. Because if the Reds sweep all 6 of their games, the Mets are, what do they say? Out. They're out. They would not be in the playoffs. Think about the enormity of that statement. Think about the absurdity of that statement. The young kids have shown a little bit of a blink. They're not as dominant as they were. They're pitching innings now they've never pitched before, and they're pitching high-pressure, high-leverage innings as well. Yesterday, Manaea started the game, was not good, and then Holmes came in, and he was good. But the Mets can't get big hits. Take a look at the Nationals bullpen. Nothing. It's awful. And the Mets couldn't get big hits. What's going on?
Listen, Mikey, I'm with you on a lot of this. The Mets, I mean, what a disgrace. $340 million payroll, Soto in the lineup, and they might not even sneak in. That's embarrassing. You're right. That's one of the biggest letdowns we've seen in this town, no doubt.
Met fans, a lot of them. I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush because that's a mistake I've made. There's a segment of Met fans that are vindictive and they have a memory like an elephant. So let me relitigate. So I said when the Mets came into Yankee Stadium that Juan Soto was miserable. I stand by that statement. But people with the brains the size of peas think that I said Juan Soto will never be happy as a Met. Never said it, never insinuated it, never meant it to be thought of that way. You know why I never meant it to be thought of that way? Because if you thought I said that, you really have mental issues. You're not that bright. I never said it. I said when he came into Yankee Stadium, he was unhappy. And I also said several times after, he's going to be fine because he's a great player. So Juan Soto, in the one game that the Nationals won, he had a home run, had the big celebration in the dugout, big smile, and dimwits that can't let anything go, and they want to have one rallying cry. They send me stuff on X. Oh, he really looks unhappy, doesn't he, Kay? Why don't you all grow up or grow a pair? Because you know what? I never said that. I never said he was never going to be happy. Those 3 games at Yankee Stadium, you could ask people involved with the Mets. He was miserable, and they were concerned about him, and it was a guy like Starling Marte who snapped them out of it. And you know why he's happy? Because he makes over $40 million a year. He's playing for a big-time team with a big-time owner. He's got teammates that he likes, and he's a great player. So if you're not happy, then you have mental issues. Of course he's happy. But he was melancholy and glum. That was the word I used the days that they went in the Yankee Stadium. And I just know that if the Mets go off on a run and they win a couple of playoff series and Juan Soto has a great postseason, which he probably would, they're going to come to me. Oh, don't look that unhappy now. Really? Take the drool off your face. I never said that. So if that's what you hold on to, it's sad. Now, let me amend that. I don't want to be mean. It's not sad. It's pathetic that that's what you're hanging on to as your rallying cry. A big-headed sports talk show host. That's what you are hanging on the rim about. Something that I never said. Something I never said. Just because the brain cells are not as thick as they should be. I mean, what's wrong with you people? I never, ever said that he's going to be unhappy for the rest of his life. If I said it, find the clip of it. Call up, play the clip, and I'll say, you know what? You are 1,000% right. I'm wrong. You're right. I said he's never going to be happy. But you know what? You'll never find it because I don't think you have the mental capability to go back on the podcast and listen. And two, never said it. Other than worry about what Michael Kay said about Juan Soto, which I didn't say, but that's what you people are running with, maybe worry about your team winning games now because it would be one of the greatest sports collapses of all time. A team 20 games over 500 at one point. 20 games over. If they lose all 6 games on this road trip, they'll be the first team ever in Major League Baseball history to be 20 games over during a season and not finish over 500. That's what you should be worrying about, not trying to tweak me for something I never said. I laugh when I get those things. I say how pathetic and how little of a life do these people have that this is something that they're hanging on. Stop yourself. You're embarrassing yourself, your family, and your future family. And get off of social media because you really are embarrassing yourself.
Hey, Mikey, relax over there, huh? You making it sound like somebody posting a clip on X is destroying their whole family tree. Come on, bro. It's sports talk. People bust chops. That's what we do in New York. You can't be calling fans pathetic for holding you to your own words. Half these people live for baseball. They're hanging on every pitch, every quote. Now, don't get me wrong. I get why you're heated. People twist words all the time. They run with stuff you never said. Fine. But when you start going, you're embarrassing your future family? That's a little dramatic, Mikey. Take a breath. Yankee fans, Met fans, we all argue that's the beauty of this city. It ain't life or death, it's baseball, baby.
How many of you people gave up on the Yankees? How many? Raise your hand, because I know there are a lot. I took phone calls. I know there are a lot. I'm not going to root for this team. They're terrible. Boone should be fired. Cashman should be fired. They're awful. Do you feel stupid now? Because all they've done since the middle of August is be the best team in baseball record-wise. All they did on that gauntlet was go 7-5 against 12 games against 4 of the best teams that they were going to play. That's it. All they did on a 10-game road trip, which is usually a killer in September, all they did was go 7-3. All they've done is pull to within 2 games of the Blue Jays when all of you, and I'm not saying just a small section, a great many of you, you know who you are, gave up on this team.
But where I'm going to stop you, this whole Yankee fans should feel blessed speech. Look, yeah, every year they're in the mix. They don't bottom out like the Mets. I'll give you that. But don't tell me fans are out of line for wanting more than just hope. This is New York. Mikey, we don't hang banners for hope. 20 plus years without a ring, that's frustration, not ingratitude.
And why I'm saying this is this. Somewhere in the wiring everybody's brain, new fans, younger fans, you think that this is football, that you can't get out from under a bad stretch of games, that's the end of the season. It's not. Giants being 0-3, that ain't good. Jets being 0-3, that ain't good. The Yankees going 20-31 over a 51-game stretch, awful. They were awful. They were one of the worst teams in baseball. But give up? Give up. I'm not going to root for them. I want them to lose now so that Boone and Cashman lose their job. So you'd rather be right than have Cashman be right with the team that he built. Think about that. That's the fan that wants to be right rather than have their team win. And as I said at the start of the show, if you're a Yankee fan, you should consider yourself blessed. Blessed. You know why? Your team, every single year, gives you at least a hope of winning a championship. Tell me the other team in New York that does that. I'll wait. And I'll be waiting right through Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg for you to give me an answer, because there is no other answer. There's one team that every single year puts a viable product on the field. You think the Jets do? You think the Giants do? You think the Nets do? You think the Islanders do? You think the Rangers every single year put a viable product on the field? All they do is fire coaches. The Devils had a bad year last year. Who every single year gives you a real chance, a real hope of going far in the playoffs? And you'll say, I know the Yankee fans sitting back now, they haven't won since 2000. Not saying that. Every year, though, they've had an opportunity to win. The only team in New York, every single year, that gives you hope. You think Jet fans have hope right now? You think Giant fans have hope? They hope the season's over because it pretty much is. The Mets, 101 win, the manager gets fired the next year. The Mets, they go to the 6th game of the NLCS. The next year, they're struggling to get over 500 and trying to sneak in as the 3rd wild card. The Yankees are your surest bet every year to get a bang for your buck. Whether you go to the game or watch the games on Yes, every single year they give you hope. No other team in New York, the greatest city in the world, has been able to do that. So when you want to bury people and you want people fired, put yourself in the shoes of other fan bases in this town. The greatest city in the world. What do they give you? Most of the time they give you crap. The Yankees at least give you hope. Let's go to Michael in Astoria. Hello, Michael.
Okay, what's up, man? Big fan. Been listening to you for a minute, and
Thank
big
you,
Yankee
man.
fan. I'm not going to even bother to talk about the Giants. But last week I was hearing you about Judge being the MVP,
Yep.
and that he won't get it because the Yankee haters, which I totally agree.
Well, I think he still might get it, but I think if he doesn't get it, Mike, it's because Judge fatigue and a lot of people don't like the Yanks.
Right, and I don't know if you remember in '99, Jeter was up for the MVP, I think, and Pudge beat him out.
Yep.
I remember, because Yankee haters. I'm not biased. Just Jeter, I think, deserved it. But,
And I think Michael,
haters out
I don't
there.
know if you agree. I think you agree. I think Judge deserves it. If you look at all the numbers now,
Absolutely.
I mean, Raleigh is having just, a once-in-a-lifetime year. He's got 58 home runs now. So in 6 games, if he gets 4 more home runs, he ties Judge for the American League record. And if you want to go that route, the clean record. So I think that will win him some votes. But, I mean, just take a look at so everybody's going to look at this, well, home runs will win the day because Judge has 49. Okay, so if that's the case, then why didn't Judge win when Altuve won? He had 52 home runs, but Altuve had the higher batting average. So they pick and choose what's important. That's what they do. And I think it's going to be a fascinating MVP vote. Anthony in Queens. Anthony.
Hey, how are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, Tony?
I'm all right. So I just wanted to say I agree with you. I watch the Yankees every night with my son all year. They are a winning team. They're practically in the playoffs or give you a shot for the World Series every time. They made it last year. So, and I'm a big fan. I like Boone. I love when he comes out, gets ejected for his team, fights. I look forward for it. I love it. But I wanted to know a question or your opinion.
Okay.
Do you think Cal is going or has a shot to do it? In your opinion, do you think it could happen?
Has a shot to what? Win the MVP or hit 62?
Hit the 62. There you go. Break it with 63.
You know what, Ant? He's got a shot. It's going to be difficult because I saw how difficult it was for Judge to get to 60, 61, 62. I mean, there's a different kind of pressure. So far, he seems like he's been immune to the pressure. So he had his 58th yesterday, so he has 58, 6 games remaining. It's going to be some heavy lifting, but he can do it. And I think that if he does hit 63, I think the voters will look at that more than they'll look at all the other numbers that I tell you about Judge. I think Judge should win. I think Judge is, we're seeing something that, a streak of years that we haven't seen very often in baseball history. But if Raleigh hits 63, we'll see something that we've never seen. Twitch hitter, American League, doing it clean. So, yeah, it's going to be a fascinating final week. Rob in Nyack. What's up, Rob?
What's up, Michael? Good talking to you. The Brian Cashman stuff, man, it's just got to stop. Give me a moment here.
Sure.
If you ran a data analysis of his performance with the budget, I don't want to hear about the Jets or Giants. There's a salary cap. I don't want to hear about the Mets. It's a small sample size, 3 to 5 years, whatever it's been with Cohen. If you have the highest budget, Michael, if it was a marketing business and I gave my team, the head of the marketing department, the highest budget, and he didn't ever finish at the top for a 15-year span, we'd call that guy in and say, hey, how come I'm investing so much and we're never at the top? Okay? It goes beyond that as well in terms of Cashman. He neutered Aaron Boone on your show. That's bad leadership when he said, oh, if he doesn't go by the numbers, he's going to have to answer for that. Things happen. Someone's mother-in-law is visiting. They're arguing with their wife. Aaron Boone knows that. The players know that. The numbers that these machines pump out don't know that. Other teams are taking these things into consideration. Brian will not allow it. He's too deep in the analytic forest to see the trees. He needs to wake up. We'll win when we get rid of him. That's it.
Well, I mean, you make compelling points, Rob, and I'll try to answer. So if you said if he was on your business team and he didn't finish at the top, you'd call him in and get rid of him. Well, what if he finished in the top 2 or 3? Still have really good years, but didn't finish at the top. So their idea of success might be a little bit different. I was talking to somebody the other day who illuminated me because I was saying, the Yankees should change the messaging about, World Series or bust. And this guy said nobody from the Yankee front office has said World Series or bust other than George Steinbrenner. Hal has never said it. Cashman has never said it. The ones that have said it are Judge and Jeter, which holds a lot of weight, I said. They said, well, we can't stop the players from saying that. But the only one who really ever said it was George Steinbrenner. And the game has changed and the rules have changed. You say the budget. The Dodgers have won one regular season championship in all these years, and they've had the highest payroll for the longest time. Last year was the one they won. 2020, if you want to carry the COVID year, okay, they won that one. The Yankees have been the American League. I don't want to defend it because if it's World Series or failure, then you could say it's failed for 15 years. But if you look at success in other ways other than just being the last team standing, you could say he puts a team on the field every single year that has a chance to win. Did David Stearns do that this year? There are teams that have high payrolls. The Red Sox have high payrolls. They finished last a lot. Have the Yankees finished last ever since Cashman took over? Again, I don't want to be put in the unenviable situation of defending Brian Cashman. I'm just saying that of all the New York teams, they're the one team that every year gives you hope. Every single year at the beginning of the season, you could dream on a championship. No one else. I guess Met fans this year thought they could dream on a championship, and it's still alive if they make the playoffs. But this is not the route that you thought was going to happen.
And the Cashman stuff, I respect you, but you gotta admit, sometimes it feels like the same script on loop. Yeah, he builds a team that's competitive, but competitive ain't the standard here. The standard's titles. You said it yourself. Steinbrenner made it clear back in the day, World Series or bust. Maybe Hal ain't his old man, but the fans, that's still how we think. So yeah, you're right. Yankee fans shouldn't act like they're suffering like Mets fans, Jets fans, Knicks fans. But don't flip it like they're spoiled brats either. They're hungry, Mikey. And honestly, after watching this front office recycle the same mistakes year after year, I don't blame them. That's it for today. Go on, hit that subscribe button. Don't be shy. And down in the comments, tell me what you think about Michael K and his rants. Is the guy spitting facts, or is he just flipping out like your uncle after 2 espressos? Let me know. I'll be reading them. Catch you next time.